What's up guys, Sargon here, and as you may or may not know, there was a major update in Fortnite today, and holy cow, was it a major update. But before I go any further, I'd like to give a shout out to CodStar8925 and Grace for coming in early in the comment section of the last video. Thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. If you guys would like a shout out in a future video, make sure you've got your notifications turned on so you can be the first ones in the comment section. Now back to the update, and when I say update, this is one of the largest updates I've ever downloaded in any game, and it really addressed tons of things that I think made the game way better. Let's start with the gameplay updates. They've gone ahead and capped the game at 30 FPS instead of 60 FPS, and this has really made a big difference in terms of making the game smoother and not as laggy. Before, it was dropping frames, you'd be lagging all over the place. I played this morning, and man, it is silky smooth. There's almost no lag while you're in the game now. It's beautiful. They've also added a new controller configuration called Combat Pro. This makes a lot of improvements to the controls that benefit us people that come from first-person shooters. Now you can use your L1 and R1 buttons to swap between weapons, and what this does is it replaces the R3 button as the crouch instead of the L1, which it previously was. This is really nice because before we would have to just keep hitting triangle to cycle through the guns until you found what you wanted, and that's really difficult in the middle of a gunfight. So this is a nice feature that they've added that I really appreciate. They've also added a new potion called Slur Juice, which basically adds shield and health. The way that this works is it acts almost instantly. As soon as you drink it, basically, it doesn't do anything while you drink it, but as soon as you drink it, it starts regenerating your health then, and you can carry on doing whatever you were doing. So it'll regenerate your shield and your health by 1 point per second for up to 25 seconds. So 25 points on your shield and your health. You'll remember the original shield potions would do 50, but they would take some time to kick in. You'd have to be down like you're bandaging yourself. And then of course, if you're using bandages to heal, you can't go past 75. With this potion, now you can actually heal up to 100, which is kind of nice. That way, if you have a med kit and you're at some moderate level of health, you don't want to waste a med kit. Now you have an option that does both for you. So say you get into like a real small gunfight where you don't take too much damage, this is a good repair kit for yourself. They've also added a player progression system now, which includes levels, XP, challenges, leaderboards, and seasons. The way season levels works is seasons will give the player a chance to level up their character and earn unique seasonal rewards and banner flair. The first season will give players a chance to level up to 100 with player level displayed on their banner. Banner flair is awarded in levels 2 through 49, giving players an additional way to show off their mastery. There are 2 unique rewards that will be provided for the first season. These will only be earned by seasonal progression and cannot be obtained by other methods at this time. At level 10, you will receive a unique banner, and at level 25, you will receive a unique glider. Now, a banner is basically just like a custom emblem from Call of Duty, so you can make your own and you can also earn special banners as well. Players can also boost their seasonal levels by participating in daily challenges. A new challenge will be provided each day with the ability to have up to 3 active challenges in total. Currently what I saw, guys, was just 1 challenge. I don't know when they'll make it so you can have up to 3. Maybe you get your challenge and you have up to 3 days to complete it or something like that, you know what I mean? Completing daily challenges will provide the player with seasonal level XP. Now they've also added some features specifically for Halloween. What they've done is they've changed the lobby screens and all this to be a little more Halloween-y. It's a little bit cool, it's kind of cool. They've also updated the rocket launcher to be a pumpkin launcher, which I haven't received in game yet, but they've also done something cool with the storm where they've updated the visuals and audio effects to make it sound a bit different. Just have a look for yourself. So that's pretty cool. Now the patch notes do say that you'll be in for a fright, so I think it'd be really cool if they added like ghosts and stuff while you're inside the storm, but it's kind of hard to do this research for obvious reasons. They've also updated the storm wall, makes it a little bit harder to see through it, which is kind of nice for people on both sides of the storm. So if you're coming out of the storm and you're weak, people can't see you running out, but at the same time you can't see them, so you don't really know if you're going to be ambushed or not. They've also added some new features related to customizations, which include outfits, pickaxes, aka they call them actually harvest tools, gliders, and banners like I previously mentioned, which are basically custom emblems. So far you can purchase everything but banners using V-Bucks. V-Bucks are just like COD points where you go and you buy them from the store, and then you can use them in game to purchase items. If you ask me, the items are a little bit too expensive. Hopefully they'll make them a little more affordable. You can access these by tabbing over to the item shop and to purchase the items, and then you can equip them to your character in the locker. So now I'm going to run through the patch notes on some of the key features that I think are important. They added a auto pickup for ammo, building resources, and traps. So these are things that don't take up room in your inventory, so you can automatically pick them up. You don't have to, hit the equip button. They've reduced the supply drop balloon health from 2,000 down to 1,250. They've reduced the chance of the storm safe zones appearing at the edges of the island. They've adjusted submachine gun characteristics because previously they've not been very powerful. The common and uncommon damage was increased from 11 to 12. The rare damage was increased from 12 to 13, and they've decreased the reload time by 15%. They've also added sniper rifle projectiles that leave a visual trail behind. The assault rifle, what they've done is they've reduced the accuracy penalty while moving, so this should allow you to strafe and get into more traditional style gunfights. Note that this does not affect the burst or scope variants. For the scoped assault rifle, they've updated the visuals while zoomed in, and they've added tracer effects and smoke that now match the weapon's behavior. I also found these to be a little more accurate. Previously, I don't know what it was, the scoped AR was not very strong. It just didn't seem to be accurate at all, so now apparently they fixed it, and I noticed a difference. They've also added an option to toggle targeting. This means you can turn this option on, and when you hit your toggle or ADS button, you don't have to hold it in order to remain scoped in. Personally, I won't be using this because I'm used to COD controls where we just ADS and we hold it. That's just what I'm used to, so I'm going to stick with that. Aiming sensitivity on controllers and now scales with your weapon zooms. This is similar to how it does with the mouse. They changed this recently where they added these sensitivity features, but now they've updated it again, so go through and mess with it, see what you guys think. They've changed the default keyboard bindings for quick slots. Now the 4th slot went from Z to 5, and the 5th slot went from X to 6. Now this doesn't just apply to PC players, you can also use a keyboard on console. Yes, this game supports keyboards on console, so it is what it is. They've improved the analog stick responsiveness when rotating the camera, and they've improved how interactions with such as teammate revives, pickups, and opening doors are prioritized when there are multiple possible options. So for example, if your teammate goes down and he's in the middle of a bunch of loot, like you're not going to be trying to pick up loot while you're trying to save your teammate's life. I know that's happened to me before where, your teammate, you're trying to revive him and you end up picking up a gun in the middle of a revive and cancels your revive. That's pretty frustrating, so hopefully this fixes that problem. They've added more loot to the area with the containers just south of Tomato Town and shifted the containers to better align with the building grid, so I haven't had a chance to explore this. Hopefully it helps, because I know a lot of the areas on the map that are not labeled are rarely ever actually looted, but there's actually quite a bit of loot in there, so you should definitely try that out. They've made a bunch of changes to the audio. First and foremost, they've added voice chat, which is pretty cool. Hopefully it gets used. We'll see. I know we don't really use it much in COD, but maybe it'll get used in this. They've decreased the distance players can hear ceiling and wall trap audio. Not a big fan of this. I kind of like being able to hear it from far away, just because they are so uncommon. It's nice that you can hear it. They've added an ambient zap audio to placed wall traps, and they fixed an issue with footstep audio that are drowned out while there are other sounds playing, as well as fix the footsteps so that they don't trigger multiple times per step. I think this has to do with how clunky the footsteps sounded before. Maybe it'll sound more realistic now, that way you can actually maybe sound horror a little bit. I don't know, we'll see. They've also adjusted the rarity for consumable items such as medkits and shield potions, whereas before they didn't have a background color in your inventory. Now the medkits are green and the shield potions are blue. It doesn't change the actual specs on these, but it just makes it so like you kind of obviously know that a medkit is uncommon. I mean, we already knew this, but it's just a little bit of feature for you that kind of makes things consistent. They've added a highlighted background for the active building resource. And now while you're spectating a match, you can actually open your menu. And also, finally, this is something they definitely needed to do. You can actually drop resources when you're using a controller. This is nice, so if your teammates got tons of tons of resources and you want to be the one that builds, they can give them to you. So this is kind of nice, helps you be a little more strategic. Some things that I noticed that are not in the patch notes. Now, this is probably because of the Combat Pro controller configuration, but now you only have to tap the triangle to get out your harvesting tool, whereas before you used to have to hold it. So that's kind of nice. And now also you have to hold the circle button in order to exit a lobby after you die. This should prevent you from accidentally backing out of a squads or duos match where your team still hasn't been eliminated. Kind of nice when you're about to win and you want to still get that win counted for you. So that's it for the updates, guys. Like I said, this was a big update. This really made the game a lot better in my opinion, so please let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Is there anything you found that I missed? I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please don't forget to leave a like. If you haven't yet, please don't forget to subscribe, and if you're not following me on social media, the links are down in the description below. And as always, guys, my name is Argon, and I'll see you next time. Peace.